After months of silence, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has finally spoken out about the elephant in the room that's been haunting women's basketball all season long, the Caitlin Clark bullying controversy. And what she said will shock you. But before we dive into the commissioner's shocking statements, let me paint you a picture of what's really been happening behind the scenes. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about the future of an entire league, the protection of its biggest star, and a controversy that's spiraling completely out of control. Picture this. You're the most talented rookie the WNBA has seen in decades. You've broken every college basketball record imaginable. You've brought millions of new fans to women's basketball. You've single-handedly increased TV ratings by over 200%. You should be celebrated, right? Wrong. Instead, Caitlin Clark has become the most targeted player in WNBA history. And for months, the league's leadership stayed completely silent while their biggest star got bullied, fouled, and physically attacked night after night. The numbers don't lie. Clark has missed 14 games out of 27 this season. That's more than half the season. A left quad strain, a left groin strain, a right groin strain. For a player who never missed a single game in college, this injury pattern is not normal. It's suspicious, and it's dangerous. But here's what makes this story even more shocking. Many of these injuries didn't come from normal basketball plays. They came from what can only be described as targeted attacks. Let me break down the most egregious incidents that have defined this controversy. The Chennedy Carter assault, June 1, 2024, a date that will live in WNBA infamy. Chicago skyguard Chennedy Carter delivered what can only be described as a deliberate assault on Clark. Away from the ball, Carter launched her shoulder directly into Clark's chest, sending the rookie flying to the ground. This wasn't basketball. This was battery on live television. The crowd went silent. Commentators were speechless. And what did the WNBA do initially? Nothing. They called it a common foul. It took public outrage and media pressure for them to upgrade it to a flagrant 1 violation after the fact. But here's the most disturbing part. Angel Reese was caught on camera celebrating the hit from the bench. Celebrating an assault on a fellow professional athlete. The targeting didn't stop there. Throughout the season, players like Marina Mabrey have taken liberties with Clark that would be unacceptable in any other professional sport. Hard fouls after the whistle, elbows thrown when referees aren't looking, verbal harassment that crosses every line of professionalism. July 15, 2025, the incident that finally exposed just how bad things had gotten. During what was supposed to be a competitive basketball game against the Connecticut Sun, Clark was bumped to the ground in what witnesses described as an ill-tempered game. This wasn't the result of intense competition. This was the result of a league that had lost complete control of its players and allowed a culture of targeted harassment to flourish. After months of deafening silence, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert finally spoke to the Daily Mail. And what she said was both shocking and completely inadequate. "I know there's that perception about bullying," Engelbert admitted. Perception? Perception? Commissioner, we're not talking about perception. We're talking about documented incidents of targeted violence against your league's biggest star. We're talking about a player who's missed more than half the season due to injuries that coincidentally keep happening after suspicious contact with opponents. But Engelbert didn't stop there. She actually defended the physical play. Everyone thinks it's just Caitlin, but everybody's getting bumped. This is where the commissioner completely lost the plot. No, Commissioner Engelbert, everybody is not getting bumped like Caitlin Clark. No other player in WNBA history has been targeted the way Clark has been targeted. No other rookie has faced this level of systematic harassment. This isn't Engelbert's first massive failure of leadership. Let me take you back to September 2024, when the commissioner completely fumbled her response to racist and misogynistic harassment of WNBA players. When asked about the toxic fan behavior directed at players, particularly the racist attacks against Black players, Engelbert focused on the popularity of rivalries instead of condemning the abuse. The response was so tone-deaf that the WNBA Players Association issued a statement expressing disappointment and frustration with their own commissioner. Engelbert was forced to issue a formal apology letter to all WNBA players, admitting, "My answer missed the mark, and I'm sorry." But here's the pattern. Engelbert consistently fails to lead in the moment when leadership is needed most. She's reactive, not proactive. She apologizes after the damage is done, not before it happens. While Commissioner Engelbert has been fumbling press conferences and issuing apologies, the real cost of her inaction has been devastating. Clark has gone from being the most durable player in college basketball to missing over half of her second professional season. The physical toll of constant targeting is undeniable. Left quadriceps strain, 5 games missed. Left groin injury, 5 games missed. Right groin injury, 4+ games and counting. Here's what makes this crisis even more absurd. The WNBA is completely dependent on Caitlin Clark for its success. When Clark plays, TV ratings explode. When she doesn't, they crash. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game saw a 36% drop in viewership compared to 2024, from 3.4 million viewers to just 2.1 million. Why? Because Clark wasn't playing due to injury. The league has experienced a 48% increase in attendance since Clark arrived. Over 200 games are now broadcast nationally, up from just 80. Merchandise sales have broken records. Clark has brought tens of millions of new fans to women's basketball. And how does the league protect this investment? They don't. But the targeting of Clark on the court is just one part of a larger toxic culture crisis that's consuming the WNBA. Commissioner Engelbert finally acknowledged what everyone already knew. It's obviously unacceptable. The vitriol that's out there for not just WNBA players, but female athletes. Players are receiving death threats. They're being stalked to their homes. AI-generated fake content is being created to harass them. Sex toys are being thrown onto courts during games. Some players have been bullied off social media entirely. The mental health impact is devastating. Players are reducing their public engagement because the harassment has become unbearable. The controversy has exposed uncomfortable racial dynamics within the league and its fan base. Clark herself has acknowledged the role of white privilege in her treatment and success, and has spoken out against supporters who use her success to attack Black players with racist and misogynistic slurs. But the league's response has been completely inadequate. Instead of proactive measures to address racism, they've implemented reactive policies after the damage was already done. The WNBA's response to this crisis has been a masterclass in reactive, inadequate leadership. Too little, too late security measures. Only after the controversy exploded did the league implement enhanced security at games, social media filtering technology, mental health support platforms, fan conduct monitoring. These measures should have been in place from day one of Clark's career, given the massive attention she brought to the league. The Women's National Basketball Players Association has expressed complete frustration with league leadership. WNBPA Executive Director Terry Jackson issued a scathing statement. "We find it unacceptable to encourage the players to market this league and to engage and/or post on social media to promote this league, and then leave the players unprotected in the manner in which they have." The union is essentially saying, "You want us to be the face of the league? but you won't protect us from the consequences. This controversy extends far beyond Caitlin Clark or even the WNBA. This is a test case for how professional sports leagues handle rapid growth, cultural tensions, and athlete protection in the social media age. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth. Record viewership numbers, massive increases in attendance, international expansion opportunities. But this growth is being undermined by the league's inability to protect its athletes and manage its culture. The league's overdependence on Clark exposes a fundamental problem. They've built their growth around one player without developing sustainable systems to protect that investment or cultivate other stars. When Clark is injured, the entire league suffers economically. This is not a sustainable business model. Here's the cold, hard truth that Commissioner Engelbert seems to be missing. If the WNBA loses Caitlin Clark, they lose everything. Clark isn't just a player, she's the economic engine of the entire league. Her absence doesn't just hurt the Indiana Fever, it hurts every team, every broadcast partner, every sponsor, and every fan who's discovered women's basketball through her incredible talent. This is women's basketball's moment. The sport has never had more attention, more investment, or more potential for growth. But moments like this don't last forever. If the league fumbles this opportunity by failing to protect its biggest star, it may never get another